From a psychological standpoint, they say most self-alienation cases are caused by mental disorders, mental illness, or simple cases of social anxiety and depression. However, for the INFJ personality type who is familiar with the act of purposefully alienating themselves from society, this tactic goes much deeper. Welcome or welcome back, psychos. Before we get into it, we'd love it if you liked and subscribed to our channel, as well as to click the post notification bell so you never miss a video. Alright, let's get right into it, starting with number 1. They usually feel alienation from themselves. As tuned in and turned on as the INFJ's inner psyche may be, there's an unspoken distance when it comes to their understanding of themselves. Considered one of the more mentally complex types, it's not just everyone around them that has trouble figuring out all what goes into their thought processes. In fact, for the INFJ themselves, it's even more difficult as they are responsible for sorting out their own estranged feelings, their idealistic future projected goals, and their place in this world. INFJs are some of the most reflective yet self-estranged people on the planet, making them not only alienated from their external environments, but also suffer from a sense of feeling rather alienated from themselves. While most people can't exactly relate to this unique feeling struggle, INFJs will know just how often they question themselves, who they are, why they are the way they are, and how they can be better. By not fully accepting themselves due to these continuous self-reflections, they can actually slip into an identity crisis of sorts. This sense of not knowing their identity can in turn cause them to further alienate themselves from their true self. Number 2. Self-isolation is a major priority. Isolation, alienation, whatever you want to call it. The INFJ personality type is known for their serious appreciation for solitude. Like we said before, most times, when we hear the word alienation, we have an automatic negative association. We think of someone going through a difficult time in life, someone losing faith in their immediate environments, or even someone being left out of a group due to others making it that way. However, for the INFJ type, self-alienation or isolation is a tactic they use to allow themselves an adequate amount of time to rest, recharge, and recuperate their energy. In fact, amongst the 8 introverted MBTI personality types, the INFJ's unique set of cognitive functions makes it so that they will actually end up suffering a considerable amount if they don't keep their distance by avoiding the maintenance of an overly active social life. They do this by simply choosing their alone time over social outings and avoiding overburdening themselves with obligations. By utilizing their naturally introverted nature, it's easier for them to keep an underlying sense of alienation in order to prioritize themselves and their high demand for seclusion. Number 3. They already feel social alienation from others. Whether the INFJ likes it or not, it's fair to say that most of the time they don't completely feel at ease when it comes to fitting in with even their closest people. While they're able to put on a great front through their cognitive extroverted feeling and sensing functions, deep down they never feel completely comfortable. And so, with this underlying sense of social alienation from the world, defined by feeling a disconnection from a group, whether it be friends, family, or wider society, the INFJ can't help but to further alienate themselves in acceptance. Examples of this for the INFJ in particular would be things such as having trouble finding a job that truly resonates with them, feeling like they don't have the same closeness in their friendships as others tend to, and not having the same desire to find new connections. In the early years of the INFJ life, this personality type will often fight this natural occurrence by attempting to fit into social groups through actions, false self-expressions, and ultimately fakery in hopes that they'll find a place where they feel the sense of social ease they've been looking for. Unfortunately, over time, most INFJs realize that surrendering to this alienation is the route to their most authentic self-expression. Number 4. As a form of self-protection. Speaking of their extroverted feeling function, the INFJ has an innate tendency to take on the feelings, unspoken energies, and problems of those around them. Whether they're trying to or not, this extroverted feeling function makes it so that the INFJ not only has a natural attunement to others' feelings, but they can easily mistake them as their own. When this empathetic type is constantly absorbing the emotional information of the people around them, it can make understanding their own thoughts and opinions on matters that much more difficult. While they're able to use this to their advantage by absorbing all the feel-good emotions that come with spending time with high vibrational people, being in the energies of rather low vibrations can certainly take their toll. As a matter of fact, the strong moods of other people can flip theirs like a switch in a matter of seconds, and the longer they spend with these destructive, malignant, or even sad people, the more distant they are from the feelings they can call their own. So by utilizing their own unique form of alienation from these energies, the more they feel authentically themselves. Number 5. To attract the right people. Luckily, by self-protecting against the situations, environments, and people that don't match up with their high morality, INFJs use self-alienation to attract the right crowd. Since this personality type feels most at ease when living life on the fringes of civilization, they have no choice but to find their much-needed human connections in the same fashion. By living on the outskirts of what society deems as normal, this personality type can more easily find people with similar values and beliefs. Usually, the ones they resonate most with are the black sheep, the misfits, the skeptics, and the open-minded. The people of the world who have the courage to take steps out of the rat race into a more self-sufficient lifestyle where ego is replaced with humility. They feel most understood by those who refuse to follow the grain and instead resort to questioning the traditions, structures, and rules implemented by those in power. By alienating themselves from the groups that strive to achieve a form of social status, they're able to pick out the genuine observers of the world, which are the only people they feel are most trustworthy to share their taboo thoughts and ideas with. Number 6. To spend time in their favorite place. With a vast inner mind, the INFJ type tends to feel a sense of distraction from the life that's playing out in front of them. Filled with otherworldly curiosities, pattern-forming analyses, future projections, imaginative fantasies, and feeling other people's emotions, this type tends to find their inner world much more alluring. They may not really be as present as they let off, even if their chameleon-like social skills may convince people otherwise. So, by alienating themselves from the outer distractions that most people tend to get caught up in as a result of trying to keep up with their social groups, INFJs use their spare time to dream. Whether it's daydreaming about imaginative scenarios or organizing their whirling thoughts, alienation allows them the time and space to wallow in their mind freely. Not to mention, every INFJ has an inherent craving to shorten the distance between them and their higher selves. Most people with this type have a deep craving to strengthen their spirituality, and as a result, many of their interests tend to be best enjoyed away from external stimuli. And lastly, number 7, to strengthen their spiritual gifts. Speaking of this empathetic type's innate draw towards the more spiritual side of life, there's no doubt that they purposefully alienate themselves from the matrix to deepen their spiritual gifts. Whether it's a certain religion, spiritual practice, or mind-opening research, every INFJ is on a personal journey in one way or another. And since they already feel the difficulty of not having others relate to them, they usually execute their spiritual steps on their own. While some spiritual lessons should be done in unison with a like-minded community, INFJs don't wait on finding the level of open-mindedness they would require from others. They usually don't adhere to large-set social or religious groups in skepticism of ulterior motives and unquestioned traditions. Instead, they gravitate towards self-help books, finding alternative information, listening to spiritual mentors through history, dabbling in different cultural beliefs, and only picking out the lessons that best resonate with them. Yet, none of this is possible if they don't have some form of self-alienation. Well, psychos, that's it for today. So, do you think you intentionally alienate yourself as an INFJ type? Let us know in the comments below. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a video.